Alright guys, what's up? I'm gonna try to upload a subcast here, possibly. I haven't really uploaded one in a long time. I'm sorry about that. I've been a little bit busy. I don't think that's a good excuse though. So anyway, what I want to talk to today about is something that Coach Purdy and I have been meaning to put in one of our podcasts. We just haven't. And mainly because we've had like Big Tens going on, we've had the NCAA's bracket coming out. We've had other more important issues to talk about than what I'm going to talk about today. Possibly I might upload my video to or send my video to him, and then he might make another one right after. I don't know, and we put them together as a subcast. It might be that might be the way to do it. I don't know. We'll see. But what I want to talk about today is, pardon me, I got to get some water. What I want to talk about today is something that we talk about. When we talk about it, me and Coach Purdy, we talk about this a lot, and for some reason we never really boiled it down specifically to this. Because every year after our last tournament, we give ourselves a couple days to recoup, and then we always have kind of like our little post season coaches meeting. We usually, this year I think we did it after our banquet. And one thing we always talk about is how can we make our program better? Specifically our program. Now, what we dish out to you guys is we want to try to make everyone better, trying to change the culture of wrestling. But specifically, after the season, we want to talk about what we can do to make our team better. Not only at our middle school level, but feeding into the high school. Because we see a lot of our guys, we see some problems at our high school does great, with getting our guys ready and all that, but we see some problems that linger from our guys on up to the high school and it becomes problematic up there. And one of our friends, one of my best friends, Shaquan Hurd, he helps coach at the high school. It's stuff that he points out that are just old habits that they need to kick. And just other things too, like confidence and, here's the term that I'm going to talk about, buying in. One thing that we always try to think about is like, why is what can we do to make our program successful like other programs? Like, what is the blueprint of success for, programs that do well that we are kind of missing the mark on? And I think with any program, I think what you can boil it down to is probably one big thing. Now, I mean, yes, there's a lot of other subcategories you can break it down to. I think you probably say like recruiting, area, location, schedule, talent, all this other stuff. And I guess more of that applies to like higher level stuff. But one thing that I think you can really boil it down to is buy-in culture. I mean, for you to have a successful team, your guys have to believe in what you're teaching them and coaching them and showing them. You don't want your guys thinking that you're just doing stuff just to do it or just because that's the way it's supposed to be done. Because that's not true. As a coach at any level, your goal is to coach and teach these kids or, young men, whatever you want to call them, is to teach them, not only what you know, but also things that you kind of got to apply your own stuff in there too, like mistakes that you have made. That's one thing that me and Coach Purdy do. It's things that we try to work on we tell you to do these certain things a certain way, not only in the wrestling room or like in the weight room or when you're running or something. It's because we know that it works. Not only because we've seen it work with other people, but also probably because we might as well, we might have seen it from our own mistakes. For instance, like if I see a guy making a mistake in the room as far as like a technique thing, it's like, hey, look, don't do it this way. I've learned from my mistakes. Now my job as a coach is to make sure that you don't do the same thing. I want you to be as successful as you possibly can. And if you don't buy into that belief that that's what I'm trying to do for you, then, it's not going to click. It's not going to fully click mentally. So I think that's what it really boils down to, is a buy-in culture. For the kid, any of the wrestlers out there watching this, like if you're not a coach, if you're a wrestler watching this, great, then this is perfect for you. When your coach tells you to do something, don't just do it because, it's like, yeah, you're supposed to do it because he tells you to do it, and that, you respect your authority and your coach and all that. I mean, obviously. But don't think that it's just for no reason. We're telling you to do these things for a certain reason, whether because we've seen it work at other places or we know that it's a mistake that we made, and we don't want you to make that same mistake. We're only looking out for your best interest. It's weird to say it, but like we really do love you guys as coaches. Like we invest a lot of time. Yes, individual success is great, but one of the greatest things that and Coach Purdy could probably say the same thing. When we see our guys do well, that means more to me than my own individual success sometimes. Like, I mean, I've done some cool things. Like, I've won matches, like, in grappling tournaments and all this. But when I see one of my guys go out on the mat and, like, everything just clicks for him like that, like, you know, he's doing what we show in the room. You know, he's being aggressive. He's taking these shots. You know, he's not being gentle. He's not just hanging on a hit. Like, when they fully buy into what we've been teaching and it works, that has got to be one of the greatest feelings of all time. Just simply because like it's exciting. Like that's a product of what that's a product of your teaching to an extent. So yeah, I mean, for any of the coaches out there looking, if you're trying to figure out what to do to make your team better in the next year, buy-in culture. Just make sure your guys buy into it. And if you're a wrestler watching this, believe what your coaches are trying to tell you. You know, this is not for no reason. We're all just trying to make sure, you're the best you can be. So, yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully Coach Birdie, he may upload his portion of this. I mean, that might be cool. I'm probably missing a lot because I'm literally doing this on the fly. I had no plans of making a second subcast video. I haven't been making videos, period, so this is kind of my first one in a long time. I'm a little rusty, I know. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you believe, tell me what you think makes programs successful. Like, what makes a successful program successful? That's what Coach Purdy and I boiled it down to, is buy-in. Buying in is the way to get that ultimate success in the long run. We think. Let me know what you think, and that's it for this one.
Alright, so check it out. Tyler just did his little impromptu subcast, which was really cool. We talked about buy-in culture. We've been meaning to talk about this, like you said, for quite a while now, and I think he hit upon some key points that I'm going to talk about just for a moment here, and then actually I'm still going to end this with a question, but fully agree. Yeah, we like Coach Tyler said, we take some time off, and we get together, have a dinner, maybe find some wings. If you can't tell, we do like wings a lot. We have our pre-season dinner. We try to get together a lot. Coach Tyler and I, kind of veering off really quick. Coach Tyler and I, not only do we coach together, Coach Tyler wrestled under me my very first year of coaching, so he's been around a long time. He's kind of, for lack of a better term, he bought in to everything and has come back around and is now giving back and wanting to do the same thing. So as I was saying though, not only is Coach Tyler a colleague of mine, a former athlete of mine, but he's gotten to be one of my best friends. We get together, we talk about things. We've just got a similar mindset, a similar drive, and a similar passion for things. And this is just a fun topic to talk about. And jotted a few notes down while he was talking about the buy-in culture. And one of the things I was thinking about is it's not just a buy-in culture into the program, because that's kind of, for lack of a better term, easy to say, or not better term, but lack of a cop-out. It's it's easy to say, buy into the program. I know he's a big Clemson fan, and I think one of their things is like all in and all that kind of stuff. Or maybe that's the Panthers. No, they're just like keep pounding. I don't know. There's lots of different sports scenarios where you hear something similar to a buy-in culture and getting people to buy into that program and what it does. And it's almost cliche because like everybody wants that, but what does that really mean? It's not just buying into the program, but it's buying into themselves. And what I mean by that is like, yes, we want you to buy into what we're telling you. We want you to listen to what we're telling you. We want you to succeed where we failed. We want you to listen to the coach because, for the most part, we do know what we're doing. It sounds kind of weird to say, but we've made mistakes before. We don't want you to go through those same mistakes. But at the same time, we want you to feel things out and be able to express yourselves and learn and practice and try new things without fear or repercussion. But if we see you working on something or working through something, then that's a little different than you not listening and paying the consequences for it. If you listen and you learn and you still think there's a better way and you're still trying things out in the practice room and doing things, that's a little different. But in order to do that, you've had to have bought into not just the program, but into yourself, into a belief that you can do it. What we want is for you to believe in the coaches. We want you to, at the same time, still believe in yourself. We want you to, for me, the buying culture is, buying into what we're selling, because what we're selling you is a belief in yourself as well. We're recognizing the skill sets and the different things, and we're giving you the tools to do it. But ultimately, you've got to believe in yourself that you can do it. There is no magic pill, take the blue pill or the red pill, Matrix style. To make yourself better, you've got to buy into the program, into what we're selling, for lack of a better way to say it, to what we're preaching and what we're saying. And a big part of that is also buying into yourself, believing in yourself that you can do it. It's not all like smoke and mirrors. We're not blowing smoke up people's butts and trying to convince people they can do it when they really can't. We're trying to make people successful in different models in different ways. It's not a cookie cutter system with what we do. It's not just a one size fits all. Yes, there's the basics and fundamentals that do benefit everybody, but then there's going to be different things that we'll recognize work for different people. And you've got to believe in yourself that there is a way for you to be successful in something that you're doing, whether it be in wrestling, whether it be in academics, whether it be, just being a good student or a good brother or a good sister or whatever it is, that we can try to help you with. But having that stuff carry over into everything. But like I said, the question is still how? How do we get people to buy into it? I think what we've got is gold, in the sense of what wrestling does for people. And this is not just Coach Tyler and I putting this out there. This is we fully believe it. Wrestling in general, Dan Gable, after wrestling, everything else in life is easy. Learning what you learn in the practice room and in the room and on the mat can be applied to all aspects of your life. And if you can learn to believe in yourself in that practice room and on the mat, then you can learn to believe in yourself in other areas of your life and translate those things that you've learned to problem-solving situations in other places. Being comfortable, being uncomfortable. The more successful you are with that, the more successful you'll be in a lot of things, almost everything else in life. But again, you have to believe in yourself too. So for me, that's one of the big things with this buy-in culture that we're talking about, is buy into not just the program, but buy into yourself. Believe in the coaches while still believing in yourself. But again, my biggest kicker right now is how do we get you to do that? If we could do it, if we could give you the blue or red pill, it sounds really bad. I don't want to be the junkie or the dealer, but if we could just make it that easy, it'd be great. We're working on things. I'm reading a book, The Switch. Rudis guys with Kerry Collat and the other coach that he's talking to in that book. They're going over to Switch, how to change things when change is hard. Really looking for ideas on how to get people to change their mindset on how they look at things. It's trying to get people to believe past the status quo. Trying to get them to believe past hey, just because wrestling's not popular here, just because wrestling's not been a big time sport at our school, doesn't mean that it can't be. Doesn't mean that it can't be popular. Doesn't mean that you can't be successful at it. Trying to get rid of stereotypes. So, in a lack of a better sense, this buying culture is not just good for wrestlers and those in it. Hey, it may sound crazy and outlandish as far as a goal, but look, go big or go home. I'm looking to change the world here. So, if we can get people to change the way they think, and I think right now, and maybe this is just going off way into a far another tangent, but looking at kids today and how they perceive things and how they think things, and we've talked about lack of, hard blue-collar workers or middle class or people working to earn things. Everything in wrestling is earned. It's not given. But getting that mindset to expand past just wrestling, I don't know. Like I said, maybe too late in the night, getting too deep for it all, but this buying culture is big. I think it's big. I think it can go past the wrestling room, and really wanted to share it with everybody, not just wrestlers per se, but everybody listening to our podcast, and share this with somebody else. And if you got an idea on how to help us get it out to people, and how to get people to buy into a program or buy into believing in themselves, I'm not looking for the self-help book, give me $1,000 and we'll get you to do it. If there's a real way to do it, we can do it. We want to do it. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now, and continuing to work. And believe me, this is something that I like, this dual video format, but we will be back we will be back with you guys with something for this. Hopefully we'll even get together and talk and maybe bounce some more ideas. And I think sometimes just talking about and bouncing ideas is great. Loving this format right now. Coach Tyler, check this out, and then I'll probably upload this as one of many subcasts on buy-in culture. All right, thanks guys.
Bye-bye.